and I'm here a bit to talk about how we are harmonizing our design and development workflows with Widgetbook. So with Harmonizing, earlier in February, we decided that for the next step for our company, we needed a true design system to really harmonize our design across all different software products we have and are developing it. And we thought about, should we go the material route because our apps are with Flutter, but quickly decided against it because we have some other projects that use different tech stacks, and those developers don't really like material. Maybe some Flutter developers also don't really like material. And also what we noticed is that our designers did not really like material as well. And so we decided we let our designers more or less choose how they want to work with it. And so our design team set up an atomic design system. We started with this in February, and we are already using this across 6 products at 1,5 And so on the Flutter side, we also really wanted to have a really nice implementation of this design system to really harmonize our working collaboration between design and dev. So how does this look now? Basically, we have in Flutter, it's the atomic design system, and from there we do we generate us theme extensions and then build custom components that use these theme extensions for all the atomic design components, so the colors, the spacing tokens, and so forth. And then we are adding the components to Widgetbook to catalog these components and keep track of any changes and making sure that it works. So harmonization. So we really wanted to harmonize all the things. So as I already mentioned, we are trying to harmonize our tokens. So what you see on the left is basically when you inspect stuff that our designers are building. For example, you see the padding, it's an adaptive spacing space 400 token. So as a developer, when I want to use this and build this, we now, using the theme extensions, we do context foundations, adaptive spacing space 400. So it's the same path, and the same for colors and the same for typography. And this makes it super, super quick to see design in Figma and translate this, because you don't have really any, like you don't have to think, okay, this is like a space 400 token. Okay, this is like 16 pixels. So what is 16 pixels on our code size? It's the same path. And the same goes for components. So we are building all components ourselves. And so on the left side, this is the panel a designer would see, in this case for a badge, and they want to adjust this badge. They can change the size, the color, which is like a style, whether or not it has a number, and the number itself. And then we have the same API option. So we see the brand, the color style is in the factory constructor, and then we can adjust the size and the number, but nothing more. So we really make sure that we are building what the design team is doing. And so we are also harmonizing Figma and Widgetbook. So on the left, you can first of all see the structure of the design system in Figma on the side panel. And then we are mirroring and harmonizing. We have to talk about the order still. That we also have all these components inside the Widgetbook. And then the same thing with the knobs, that the stuff designers can change for the badge. We can also adjust with the knobs. And so I will do a quick demo because that's just easier. So it doesn't really scale. We can scale, I guess, using the zoom add-on. So for example, with the number, we can toggle the number on, and we say we want to make this medium and we want to be the brand thing. And this is what I mean, like we have everything from the design system we have here. So we can, for example, go into like our neutral colors, which I guess are zoomed in too much now. So this is for the foundation values, but also like molecules, like all of our buttons are here with the same options. And so this is cool, but we also noticed that building the design system to make sure developers know how to use certain kind of things. If we go into more complex stuff, for example, we have, what could we do? Like when we want to show how our top bar here is fading in this sort of blur, developers can then look at the implementation of this Widgetbook use case to really make sure that they are building it as desired. So that's harmonizing our design system. But our main thing, our main app is the Heartbeat app, and we recently migrated this from a material to our harmonized components. And so we're also using Widgetbook for that. We have our full screens in there. We mock it with river pods and then certain sections with different states. So we can get really to the specific edge cases, because sometimes even for QA, it's super hard to find like a customer on staging with like a certain condition of products. It's way easier to just send them the link for Widgetbook. And so we use it for devs. Our designers are also validating on there, and then for QA and product. And then how does our workflow look? This is what our workflow looked before we had Widgetbook. And so design, hand it over to the implementation. We create a PR, we do a development review, we merge it, and then QA takes over. This poses some problems because in our experience, this tended to our developers looking at the code implementation and say like, oh, does this look really nice? Why doesn't it look like this? Developers tend to do this. Also, we notice our designers are not really in the loop of when stuff they designed is actually landing in the product. You merge something and then QA or design 2 weeks later says, oh, can you take a look at this again? This seems to not match. It's always possible that potential wrong stuff is coming to the customers. And also what we wanted to try to avoid is that we have any misalignments between design and code, because our goal is that at any point in time, our Figma file is also representing our app. How does it look now with Widgetbook? You can probably imagine. We now have a design review in here. So with Widgetbook, we now upload to Widgetbook Cloud, and as Lucas showed, we'll see all the use cases that they change. And so we're using that to let designers take a look at this now. And so before we then merge it, designers can look at it, validate it. If there's misalignments, they can do some adjustments in the Figma branch. And so we make sure that once it gets merged, everything is really up to spec. It's also super nice to, when then a dev during code review says, oh, this doesn't look really nice, I would like that this looks different. You can just say, I agree, but design said it shouldn't. And so it makes also development, like dev reviews, a lot quicker, as they can just really focus on the code quality and not about design. So with this process, what we're seeing is that we're already saving about 20% time for design and dev, which makes us really quick. And what I love about this at 1,5 that when we are saving 20% of the time, it helps us like have 20% more time helping our customers to save CO2. I'll also do a quick commercial thing at the end. So if you want to join later at 5:20 at the Flutter Forest, I'm going to give another talk about home screen widgets. So I would love to see it and see a lot of you. And I guess with this, it's over to Albert.